السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. لقاءنا اليوم موضوع هام جدا: كيف تحارب الهند الفقر؟ هذا موضوع من أهم المواضيع، مدرسة عريقة في محاربة الفقر، في بناء الإنسان، في بناء الحياة، في بناء النجاح. يشرفني أن أستضيف نخبة من شباب الهند، منهم من يريد أن يتحفنا بأنشودة أو بأغنية هندية، ونفس الوقت حنجاوب على الأسئلة. قبل أن نبدأ في هذا الموضوع سأتكلم معكم، سنتحدث يا ترى ما هو الهند؟ لماذا اخترنا هذا الموضوع؟ انتقيت بعض الافتتاحيات من بعض المقالات في الإنترنت، أحدها تقول: أشفقت على القارئ وعلى نفسي فاختصرت في عنوانة هذه الخواطر بعنوان مجتزأ الهند تحارب الجوع، بعد أن كان العنوان يقارن بين الهند والعرب فيقول: الهند تحارب الجوع والأغلبية من العرب تذرف الدموع. لماذا تفلح الهند في النمو والتقدم ويصر بعض العرب على ما هو أدهى من التخلف؟ الهند بلد الملل والنحل وأم العجائب، 1.25 مليار من البشر، وبجوار ليس مسالم استطاعت أن تسن قوانين للأمن الغذائي يكفل إطعام نحو 1 مليار نسمة من الفقراء والحوامل والمرضعات والأطفال. الهند عبارة عن مدرسة عريقة جدا في محاربة كل ما هو خطير من الجوع. إذا ذهبنا على مقال آخر، وأنا سأدخل المقال فقط من باب أنه هذه المعلومات موثقة، يعني مش من عندي. في هذه المقالة يقال: لم يمنع اقتصاد هذه الدولة من تخطي فرنسا وإنجلترا في التنمية. فأعداد الفقراء الهند من تنمية اقتصادها الذي تخطى خلال العام الماضي أعلى الاقتصادات الأوروبية. فبتكلم هون أنه وصف صندوق النقد الدولي الهند كخامس أكبر اقتصاد في العالم في تقرير آفاق الاقتصاد العالمي الصادر في أكتوبر الماضي، وفقا للناتج المحلي الإجمالي الاسمي ليتخطى بذلك البلد الآسيوي المملكة المتحدة. وعلى مدار العقد الماضي كان وتيرة نمو الاقتصاد الهندي بين الأعلى حول العالم، مع متوسط نحو نمو سنوي للناتج المحلي الإجمالي بلغ 7.6 إلى 7% بحسب ما ذكر موقع ذا برين. طيب ما هي الهند؟ أين هي موجودة؟ الهند إذا دخلنا نحن على خارطة العالم نجدها موجودة. هذه نحن بلادنا عالمنا العربي، وهذه هي الهند. الهند دولة شبه قارة متماسكة متلاحمة، تعمل ليل نهار على بناء اقتصاد ينبض بالحياة. تمكنت من جذب استثمارات من كل أنحاء العالم. وفق لأحد المواقع الهامة يعني التي تعطي معلومات دقيقة عن الدول، يقال أنه بالهند حاليا في عنا 1,326,000,000 نسمة حسب إحصائيات يوليو 2020 جولاي 2020. الجماعات الاثنية فيها مختلفة، 72 منهم إندو آريان، و 25 درافيديان، وعندنا منغوليان 3%. اللانجويجز، شوفوا عدد اللغات الموجودة في الهند، عدة لغات. 43% من سكان الهند بيتكلموا اللغة الهندي، البنغالي 8%، المراتي 6.9، تالغو 6.7، تاميل 5.7، الجاجراتي 4.6، الأردو 4.2، وهناك الكثير من اللغات. اللغة الإنجليزية ليست اللغة الوحيدة، ولكنها تعد عامل مشترك. إذا شفنا التركيبة السكانية للهند بنلاقي من تحت ال 46 تحت ال 24 سنة في عنا حوالي 40% من سكان الهند. وعم نحكي عن 40% من 1.3 300 مليون، فهون نحن نتصور عم نحكي على حوالي 500 مليون. هدول الأشخاص حاليا إذا بتشوف قادة العالم أغلبيتهم موجودين في الهند. فهذا الموضوع ليس موضوع سهل عندما تكون كل الظروف تدفع بك نحو الأسفل، وأنت عندك ما في غير حل واحد، إنك أنت تحارب الفقر بإيجابية، تحارب الفقر بهمة عالية، تحارب الفقر بالعلم والمعرفة والدراسة والتفاؤل. رحبوا معي في هذا اليوم بأصدقاء من الهند. بس أولا بدي أسألهم، ريشاب are you there؟
Hello, Mr. Sobi.
Hello.
Uh,
Can you switch on your camera please? And
it's
also
already on, Mr. Sobi. Just a second.
الآن
مرحبا, Mr. Sobi.
مرحبا ريشاب، كيف الحال؟ How are you?
I'm perfect, Mr. Sobi. How are you?
I'm fantastic, very well. And also we want to Shristi Snehal, would you please also switch on your camera? رحبوا معنا الآن بمجموعة نخبة من أذكياء وشباب الهند. في عنا السيد المهندس ريشاب، وهو مهندس ميكانيكي ذكي جدا، متحمس جدا للهند، وعنده معلومات جميلة جدا سيشاطرنا معه. وحبذا وكانت يعني كان من أراد ريشاب أن يحضر أرضه أن يسمعنا من أغاني الهند. فمعنا طالبتان، الأولى تطلب الذكاء الاصطناعي Artificial Intelligence، عم تدرس الماجستير في جامعة اسمها IIT هيدراباد، الآنسة شريستي، ومعها أيضا الآنسة سنيهل وهي تدرس علوم الكمبيوتر. I want to welcome you all. I want to welcome first Shristi, Snehal, for joining us in very short notice. فقط من حوالي ساعتين قلنا لهم تعالوا اسمعونا شيء من طلب الهند، فلبوا النداء بسرعة. We are so much grateful that you fulfilled our request to come live and to talk live to us and to listen to your beautiful song and your beautiful voice. And also I want to welcome very deeply my best friend Rishab, Mr. Rishab Singh, for also taking the time to answer all our questions and introduce to the Arab friends what is India and the secret of the Indian growth. Now, in the first thing, Rishab, do you want to say anything?
Yes. First of all, marhaba, Mr. Sobi. Namaste, salam alaikum, sastri akal. Thank you, Mr. Sobi, for providing me with this opportunity. I'm equally proud and delighted to represent my country, my beautiful country, my mother, my India. And honestly, Mr. Sobi, to talk to you about this growth story of India is in itself a very good thing, is in itself a very great thing. And to share some inspirational stories with you. And I hope that this session goes on to be very interesting. And before we start, I would like to request Srishti, and before we begin the song, this is actually for all the viewers who are watching us. Actually, I requested Srishti just 2 hours before our meeting was about to start to just please if you can sing 2 beautiful songs. And she and her sister Srishti Snail has a very beautiful voice, and I think their voice and their music will add live to this already great forum. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
So thank you so much, Rishab and sir, for giving us this opportunity to actually, be a part of this discussion and represent India. So we are singing 2 songs here. The first one is famous song by Michael Jackson, "Heal the World," and it is quite in sync with what's going on around in the world right now, owing to the corona crisis. And the second song that we're singing is "Vande Mataram," something coming from our motherland, and where we actually say "Namaste Mama." So basically, "Vande Mataram" would be the second song, and the first would be "Heal the World." So
just I will first translate into Arabic. I will tell them what you mentioned.
Sure.
So إذن صديقتان ترحبان بكم جميعا وتهديكم غنيتين جميلتين جدا. الأولى هي أنشودة غنية لمايكل جاكسون، كلماتها حول محاربة الفقر، حول تعاون الجميع من أجل محاربة الجوع والآلام الإنسانية. والأغنية الثانية من تراث الهند، وهي عبارة عن عربون محبة وسلام وصداقة معكم. Please, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, so should we begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is be brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a better space, make a better place in the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying if you care enough for the living. Make a little space for you and for me. Make a better place for you and for me.
Wow. Wonderful.
So nice. Thank you very much. Amazing. Wow.
Do you, Mr. Sobi, do you want your audience, you want to interpret the message to your audience what Shrishti and his sister just sang?
by all means. هذه الأغنية تشير أنه نحن كيف سنجعل هذا العالم عالم أفضل لك ولي وللجميع. كلمات الأغنية كلمات إنسانية قوية جدا، كلها تفاؤل، كلها تنبض بالحياة، تدعو للتشارك من أجل خلق عالم أفضل وبيئة حياة أفضل لبني الإنسان. كلنا يجب أن نتعاون من أجلها. Thank you so much for choosing this beautiful song with these marvelous words, deep meanings. Now we will listen
Now comes the second song coming from our motherland, Vande Mataram.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. You made this session, this event, wow. You are so grateful. And actually now joining with us now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Seriously, and a secret performer. Yeah, their mom actually. Wow.
Now everybody will
Seriously,
expect
thanks.
to listen to this. You read the level of these meetings with this beautiful sound.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much.
And also I want to welcome with us Dr. Fawaz Zarour. Dr. Fawaz, he was a high official in Indian embassy in Damascus. So he's writing in Arabic that we have brought him to these beautiful memories. He worked there more than like 15 years, serving in the Indian embassy. So all of these
Wow.
beautiful memories now have been
Hello, sir.
refreshed with your beautiful song and beautiful presence. Thanks a lot.
One more thing I would like to add, Mr. Subi. The
Yes.
song itself is a national song, I think, and of India, and this song is so much close to each and every one of Indians' heart. And whenever anyone of Indian, hear this song, it just makes everyone so emotional. This song is itself a very great thing. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us, for
Thank you so much.
Thank you
making
so
us
much.
feel more Indian. Thank you so much.
Isn't-
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. So now باسم الجميع أنا أشكر شريستي and سنيهل على هذه الأغاني الجميلة وهذا الصوت الرائع الذي أدخلنا الآن في أجواء الهند. والآن سندخل في عالم محاربة الفقر وهو الأساس الذي اجتمعنا من أجله. Now, Risha, we start our questioning and we need to take us in a journey about just to understand what is India. I mean, what is India? Please explain to us about your great country.
Thank you, sir. So, the question is actually a very good question. And before starting with my answer, I would first like to thank you for providing me with this opportunity to interest me and to believe in me that yes, I can answer your difficult questions. And I'm equally proud and delightful to share this platform with you on Facebook Live. And thank you so much to all the viewers who are watching us. Thank you so much, my family. Thank you so much, friends, everyone who are watching us live. And now we shall start, sir.
Okay.
I have brought some statistics with me also, sir. So I might see some time the paper in between. So to quote some statistics because they're difficult to learn. But yeah, I will try my best to entertain the audience. Yeah. Your question, sir. What is India, and explain to us about your country? Sir, I believe before answering this question, I would like to share a small story with you that I was telling it to you about yesterday that I might surprise you in the starting, and that here's the surprise. Sir, many of the people and many of the viewers, including I think many people, might not be aware of the story, but the invention or the origination of the word of the thing which I'm about to tell you might look small or might look insignificant at that time, but it has shaped the modern world. It is really significant and a very good thing nowadays. So the discovery of zero, the origination of zero was done in India around 5th century. The term zero, the principle of zero, not the principles, but the term zero was coined by one of our saints back in 5th century, and it traveled all the way, not only to the northern and the southern lands, but it traveled to China, and all the way from China, it traveled to your Mesopotamian lands. Nowadays, modern days, Iran, Kuwait, Qatar, and Syria primarily. So what we coined, sir, was just a small representation of zero, and it was merely a dot. But what you guys did and what your ancestor did, they gave the shape of from merely a dot to current shape. What we are seeing right now is what a zero is actually. So it was your ancestors who did this. It was your ancestors who actually had put the great or a good use of zero and what we are using right now. So the purpose of me sharing this story was It just signifies the dedication, the progress, the growth, and a commitment towards all of these aspects since our ancient times, not only us Indians, but also the Syrians and the Mesopotamians as well. Yeah. You want to convert it into Arabic, or shall I continue?
Yeah, please. I'm actually, it surprised me with this one. It's very interesting to know. I just wanted to clarify.
Definitely it is.
Zero has been on the 5th century found in India. Then it traveled from India to China to the ancient Arab world. And when in the Arab world, they will give more shape and more usage to the zero, which was only those
Definitely,
that give it the new shape.
definitely, sir.
So I will repeat in Arabic now. ما يقوله السيد رشاب أنه حرف الصفر أول من وضع حرف الصفر هم الهنود في القرن الخامس، وبعدها انتقل حرف الصفر إلى العالم العربي، وبالعالم العربي هناك تم إعطائه الطريقة التي يمكن أن يكتب بها بشكل أفضل واستخداماته المتنوعة والمتعددة. وهذا منذ زمن الهند تحاول أن تقدم للإنسانية الشيء المفيد لها. Yes, Rishab.
Okay. Now coming on to your main question, sir. What is India, and explain to us about your very great country. Indeed, our country is very great, sir. So India, that is a mother to me. India, that is Bharat, is a mother to me, is a ma to me. Ma is a Hindi term, which we, in English, we can call as mother. Not only to me, but also to 1.3 billion people, to 19,500 languages, it is a mother. India is the 7th largest country in this world. In terms of population, it is second largest after China. India is home to the second largest Muslim population in the world, that is around 175 million. India is home to 25 million Christians. And we all come together and we proudly call this land as India. Just as your area, or just as the region where you belong from, is known as the cradle of religions, India is known as the cradle of civilizations, the cradle of humankind, the cradle of human speech. It is the mother of legends, and it is the grandmother of cultures and traditions.
So we are sharing this one in common. I will repeat now. The رقم الصفر هو ما تحدث عنه الأخ رشاب. أنا آسف قلت الحرف صفر. هي ثاني أكبر تعداد في العالم. هي تعتبر أيضا من مهد الحضارات، من مهد الإنسانية، من مهد الثقافات الموجودة التي انطلقت منها الكثير من الثقافات العالمية. يا رشاب.
Okay. I think the Arab part is quite easy. I think I should learn Arabic. It is so hectic to speak in English. Okay, sir, I'll continue. Okay, sir. Coming from the history to prehistoric times, India has derived its name from Indus River, River Indus. At those times, the River Indus was sacred and important in its own way. The River Indus was home to two main civilizations, that is the Indus Valley civilization and the other one is Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization till date is known as the oldest civilization. And you will be shocked to know, sir, the Indus Valley civilization was in itself a smart civilization. And when I say smart civilization, yeah, tell me.
Actually, Rishab, it's very difficult for me to repeat the words you are mentioning now. So I will explain in general, but I hope later on we can add them into comments, because these like facts,
definitely
historical facts, and I have to.
It is important.
Yeah.
It is important. What I'll do is, sir, I'll share what I have spoken. I'll share it with you, and we can share it to your audience as well. Okay, sir. Now coming on to the question. Yeah. So the Indus Valley civilization was in itself a smart civilization. I'm not saying this for the sake of saying, but successive reports, successive documentaries, researchers, scientists have proved the fact. The Indus Valley civilization was in itself a smart civilization. We had smart urban planning then. We had smart drainage systems. We had smart water supply systems. Indeed, we were ahead of the times. The purpose of me saying this and to tell where we belong from and where our ancestors came from and what our prehistoric principles and history is, that itself signifies, sir, India is not great in 2020 or 21st century. It is great indeed since years and since centuries. The very thing of the smart civilization we had then, the Indus Valley civilization, shows again the commitment we had towards development, growth, and progress.
Okay.
Shall I finish? Okay.
إذن أتحدث عن ماضي الهند العريق، فهي بدأ فيها بالماضي منذ الأزل، منذ القدم الشديد. كان هناك أصل الهند ونشأة الهند وشعب الهند، هناك حضارة كاملة كان يتحدث عنها. امتازت هذه الحضارة بأنها بالزراعة الذكية، بالسقاية الذكية. الهند ليست عظيمة الآن فقط، ولكنها منذ الزمن كانت ذكية في ابتكار الخبرات العملية، سواء كان في زراعة، سواء كان في سقاية، سواء كان بالحضارات أي شتى أنواع أو مكونات الحضارة. Yes, Rishabh.
So now this will be the last part of my question, so I can finish it and then you can translate it into Arabic language.
Okay.
So now, going with the Indus Valley, explaining about our cultures, explaining about the bond we shared through centuries. Now I'll tell you what our core beliefs and what our core philosophies are. That India in a history of 100,000 years has never invaded any country. And this is a remarkable fact in its own. 100,000 years. Our core beliefs and our core philosophy is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. That is a Sanskrit word. That itself means world is one family. We believe that world is one family. We don't discriminate between religions. We don't discriminate between people, sex, creed, whatever. I'll share some fantastic discoveries with you. After providing the proper sanitation and the proper water to each and every village, not only we stopped there, but we were the first to discover water on Mars. We were the first to discover or to invent a game called chess. We were the first to invent the game of snakes and ladder. We are the first to use the concepts of algebra, trigonometry. We are the first to calculate the time taken by Earth to orbit the Sun. We didn't just stop here. Along with the cradle to religions, humankind, human speech, we are cradle to the startup industry as well, sir. We have the third largest startup industry in the world. We have the tallest statue in the world, that is the Steel Man of India, that is the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Just a second, sir. We have the world's largest healthcare system, covering around millions of people, millions of households. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Well, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. You spoke about الفلسفة التي بنيت عليها الحضارة في الهند. إن هي أنا منذ الحضارة السنسكريتية هو أن العالم هو عائلة واحدة، وهناك أمور كثيرة كانت وجدت طريقة للعالم من خلال الهند، مثل تحلية المياه، الشطرنج، لعبة الشطرنج، وهناك أخرى كثيرة عددها وسنحاول ذكرها في الملاحظات أو لاحقا. So now, Rishabh, what you mentioned, we need to add it to the comments so people will
Definitely, I will add.
So now we understand about the history of India and the diversity of India and about this great country. Now we want to know about what is poverty and what is the current situation right now about poverty and India.
Yes, sir. I'm glad that you asked this question and keeping in mind the theme of the meeting. I'll explain what poverty is and what poverty means to me and what poverty means to fellow Indians and viewers. So I believe poverty is a thing which we cannot measure. Every institution, every organization, every country, even the international organizations such as UN, World Bank, Asia Bank, have different yardsticks to measure poverty. To measure the definite what poverty means to any individual or what poverty is, we cannot say that. But to generalize everything, I might say, according to the World Bank definition also, any person who is earning or who is a PP, purchasing power less than $1.9 per day is poor or lies in that poverty line. Sir, according to me, poverty is itself an evil and it lies in the society. And in the 21st century, we are in year 2020, this evil still is with us.
Sorry. Come again, please.
The last time? Okay. I'm saying, sir, the poverty is an evil itself that persists in this society. Okay. In the 21st century, in the year 2020, this evil is still with us. And we are responsible that this evil is still with us and we haven't done anything for it. Maybe, and yes, potentially, successive governments, successive countries has done a lot to eradicate, to elevate poverty. But I believe, what my personal belief is, we haven't done enough to eradicate poverty.
إذا هناك عدة طرق لقياس الفقر. أي شخص حسب معايير الأمم المتحدة قدرته الشرائية أقل من $2 يوميا يعتبر فقير. لا يزال الفقر موجود حتى الآن بالهند وهم يتصارعون معه بشدة. الكل مسؤول عن الفقر، لا يوجد هناك شخص واحد. الحكومات ربما تكون الحكومات المتعاقبة قد ساهمت في الحد منه، ولكن كلنا نتحمل مسؤولية. لا يزال موجودا ولا يزال نراه في يومنا في حياتنا اليومية.
Okay, sir. So you will be shocked to know, Mr. Sobi, around the globe, there are around 736 million poor people living with us, staying with us. That is twice the size of population of USA. That is 7 times the population of Russia, and that is equal to the population of the whole continent of Europe.
نعم.
These people,
هناك أكثر من 763 مليون شخص في العالم يعيشون في الفقر المدقع. يعني تقريبا عدد يمكن ضعف عدد سكان الولايات المتحدة، أوروبا، روسيا. يعني رقم مهول جدا في العالم يرضخ للأسف تحت الفقر المدقع.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sobi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
poverty.
Yes.
Just a second. Mr. Sobi, poverty is in itself a thing that shouldn't exist, but even if it's existing, I will tell you what poverty actually means. It is just not a person who's not capable or not enough capable to spend $1.9 per day. It is also the lack of opportunities he's getting. It is also the lack of participation in the democratic system he's also not getting. It is also the lack of growth or the inclusive growth he has been eradicated from. Yeah.
إذا أيضا الفقر بالهند يعني فقد الفرصة للمشاركة في الحياة الديمقراطية السياسية، فقد الفرصة في المشاركة بالحياة الطبيعية كحقوق المواطنة أيضا. Okay.
Mr. Sobi, I will just end the question in just 2 or 3 more lines, 1 more paragraph. Sorry. You want to speak something? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I'm fine. Just I want to more clarification later. I will ask a follow-up question.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. Sir, I believe the richest countries are not USA, not Russia, not China, not Spain, not Germany, not France, but those countries which have zero poverty tolerance, which have zero poverty levels. And you will be shocked to know, sir, we have that thing in common. Can I expect an answer from you? UAE. This country has zero poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Countries like UAE, Netherlands have zero poverty. They have no poor. Or if they are having poor, they are really insignificant. And definitely, if the government can do a lot for their population, they can also manage their 5 or 6 or whatever number it is. Now, coming on to your second question, Mr. Sobi. what is the current situation right now? Okay, sir. Sir, I believe due to multi-dimensional approach from the successive Indian governments in the union level, in the state level, and in the village level, that is we call Gram Panchayats, that is a local representation of village bodies. Due to a top-down approach from all this together, we are able to eradicate poverty. I might say on a scale of 10, I might say we are able to eradicate poverty on a scale of 8 to 8. Still two numbers are left, and definitely in years to come, we will definitely eradicate it. And I will also share, if you convert this into Arabic. Before ending my question, I will also share why we are able to eradicate poverty. There are 5 reasons why we are able to eradicate poverty. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Sir, if you will study about India, the Indian system and the Indian workforce is highly dependent on agriculture. Around 50% it is dependent on agriculture. The main workforce of India, around 50%, it is dependent on agriculture.
No.
But the strange fact here is agriculture only contributes to 13% to the GDP, which is quite low comparing to with the amount of workforce it has indulged in. So what our governments and what our policymakers did, it moved people from agriculture to different sectors, like production, like manufacturing, like small and medium industries, like small startups, whatever a person is capable of. Along with this, the governments introduced 4 to 5 people welfare schemes. And to add to that point, Mr. Sobi, I might say, the governments in India are people oriented. They live by the people, they stay by the people, and they work for the people. Social welfare schemes like Manrega, social welfare schemes like Ujjwala. Manrega, I will explain what it's Manrega. Manrega is a scheme which gives employment, which gives 100-day employment to an individual. At least for a 100-day, the individual or the person is employed. Yes, sir. Sorry.
What you are mentioning is a very important idea. So after agriculture, this is number 1. Now, number 2, you moved now 50% of people in agriculture moving to different industries. What is number 2? Can you just repeat it again, please?
Yeah. The number 2 is a scheme called Manrega. It was introduced by one of our governments. What the scheme is, it gives a 100-day employment to an individual. Okay, are you with me, sir?
Yes, I'm writing down.
Okay, perfect. So it gives 100-day employment to an individual. For at least 100 days, the individual is occupied, sir. Out of 365 days, if any work is going on in his village or is nearby village, at least for those 100 days, he is employed and he will get a satisfactory amount for it.
So let me now translate into Arabic. كيف تحارب حكومة الهند الفقر؟ الشعب الهند عنده 50% من سكان الهند يعتمدوا في حياتهم على الزراعة. 50% إذا عم نحكي نحن على مليار وربع، فتصور أنت كم العدد. حكومة الهند تسعى أن تنقل هذول ال 50% لقطاعات أخرى مثل قطاعات الصناعة والخدمات، وهذه القطاعات عم تحاول تنقلهم حتى ليش؟ لأنه الزراعة لوحدها تساهم 13% من الناتج المحلي الإجمالي للهند. يعني حتى لو عملوا بالزراعة فهن مساهمتهم للناتج المحلي حتكون قليلة. فكيف نحول رأس المال البشري الهندي لشيء فعال أكثر؟ عم تنقلهم لقطاعات أخرى. هذا رقم 1. رقم 2، أي مواطن هندي عم تعطيه الدولة فرصة عمل أقل شيء 100 يوم بالعام. فإذا واحد اشتغل 3 تقريبا أيام السنة فعلى الأقل طلع كفايته من المأكل والشراب. Yes, Rishabh.
May I continue, sir? Okay.
Yeah, please.
Coming on to the second scheme, or the second point I was talking about. Actually, sir, there were many schemes, but I have shortlisted 4 to 5 schemes which are really important and which really contributed to the development of India and to elevate poverty. So I will shortlist 5 schemes. One such was Manrega. Okay. Now the second scheme, sir. The second scheme such scheme is the rural housing or the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. What is this? Sir, since you are a very well-read person, a person is poor if he is lacking 3 or 4 things, basic things. He is not able to spend on his education, first point. If he is not able to spend on his health infrastructure, second point. And if he is not able to spend on his basic amenities, on his miscellaneous or normal required expenses, he is a poor person. So what our policymakers did, they identified the number of things where we can help the poor. To give the money to poor is not the actual solution, but to actually attack the problem is the actual solution. So the second point is very important. It is rural housing scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Jan Awas Yojana. Our government provided rural housing or the houses to each and every individual who was marked or was identified as poor. I am not saying that every individual has got house, but I am saying out of 100%, 70% of the people have got their houses done.
70%?
It's just a rough estimate, sir, but yes, around 70%. It may be more or it may be not less, but it may be more. So this was the second such scheme. I will continue my third scheme. First, if you are comfortable to explain it in Arabic to your audience.
But here later I will ask a question from where the government is getting the money. For example, are you paying, everybody is paying taxes to afford this thing? Because moving 50% from agriculture to different industries, now giving this rural housing, and and we're talking here about
Wonderful.
hundreds of millions of number. So I will translate now what you mentioned, and later on maybe if we can comment about this idea. إذن الطرق نعاود عن الحديث كيف تحارب حكومة الهند الفقر بناء مهاجمة المشكلة نفسها، وليس إعطاء الفقراء الدعم المادي. كيف مهاجمة المشكلة؟ تم تحديد للأشخاص ذوي الدخل اللي ما عم يقدروا يقدموا احتياجاتهم، يلبوا احتياجات الحياة الرئيسية، وحاولوا إنه يعطوهم مساكن ريفية. فوصلوا لمرحلة تقريبا حوالي 70% من الناس عطوهم مساكن ريفية. هنا سألته أنا إنه أنت طب منين الدولة عم تجيب مصاري؟ هل الشعب يدفع ضرائب بشكل منتظمة؟ ولا إنه مبالغ عم نحكي هون على أعداد بمئات الملايين، فإنك تعمل لهم سكن وتعمل لهم تنقل مجتمعات كاملة من الريف للقطاعات الأخرى شيء مكلف. سيجيبني الآن على ذلك. يا رشاب.
Yes, sir. Coming on to my third point, sir.
Okay.
Those two schemes were really important and it has really been a benchmark for other schemes as well. Coming on to my third scheme, sir. Sir, houses in India, other than the urban houses, the rural houses in India, if you have to cook, you need some LPG supply, or you need some gasoline or something to burn or to cook that food. In India, even in the 2020, not 2020, I might say even in some decades ago, some years back, the women were using the wooden logs and they would burn it. Henceforth, the heat out of those logs would come out and successively then the food must have been cooked. But government marked this problem and they came up with a very beautiful idea, very beautiful scheme, that is Ujjwala scheme, sir, or LPG for all. Since the inception of this very beautifully designed scheme came, around 98% of the villages are now wooden logs free, or the earlier we can call charcoal free. This has helped the poor people in particular, because there are two important things, sir, which are really hidden in this scheme. When you light the wood, when you light the coal, smoke comes out, sorry. Yeah. And when a person who is igniting that food, that wooden log, or when the person is cooking that food, the smoke would be inhaled and would go into his or her lungs. So the first, the government eradicated this problem. Second, if you are providing free LPG connections and subsidized LPG cylinders or LPG supply to poor, definitely his daily expense will come down. Yes. Yes.
Come again. I need to know the percentage, and I need to know LPG. You call it
Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG.
Oh, okay. إذن
And
هناك كمان أحد المحاور التي حاربوا منها الفقر دراسة كيفية حياة الأهل الريف. هناك نسبة كبيرة من الأشخاص في الهند طريقة طهيهم للطعام تعتمد على الحطب، إشعال الحطب والطهي على الحطب. فقامت الهند بمد الغاز المسال، وصلوا لنسبة ضخمة جدا. الآن سأتأكد منه، حوالي يمكن 89% من سكان الرياف استعاضت بالغاز للطهي عن الطهي بالحطب، وبذلك أنقذوا الرئتين من استنشاق الدخان الضار. What is the percentage again, Rishab? 89, you said? %?
No, sir. Around 97% of the villages are provided with LPG. 97. I'm talking about a rough estimate. So it might not be true, but it may vary between standard deviation of 5 to 8%. Okay, sir?
Yeah, okay.
Now, I completed 2 schemes, actually 3 schemes. Manrega, rural development, rural housing development, and the Ujjwala scheme. There's a one important scheme also, sir.
Yes.
Since you are interested into figures, you will be fascinated to hear this. The fourth scheme is known as Saubhagya Yojana. You can pronounce it?
No.
Saubhagya Yojana. It's fine, it's fine. So, what is this scheme about? So, this scheme is actually the electrification of households. Few years ago, I may not remember the exact years, but I may say few years ago, around 70% or around 75% of the Indian households, including urban and rural households, were covered with electricity, around 73%. After the inception or the introduction of this Saubhagya Yojana, you will be shocked, sir. 99.9% of the Indian households are covered with electricity. Only 18,000 marked identified households. I'm not talking about villages, cities, or XYZ. I'm talking about households. See just these micro details. Only 18,000 households are left or are not electrified. Rest 99.9% of India is electrified. And that itself is a very great thing.
Wow, this is miracle.
Absolute miracle.
نقل الكهرباء لكافة الأماكن في الهند إلى أن وصلت لنسبة الكهرباء 99.9%. فقط تم تحديد 18,000 منزل لم تصل إليهم الكهرباء من أصل 1,300,000,000 نسمة. Wow. So, okay.
I think just to add one point to this, there's one more scheme, but that is a more general scheme that is called Swachh Bharat scheme. So that scheme is in itself a very, very important thing, and not only the present government, but the successive previous governments and the governments in future and the state governments, all of the political spectrum came together and helped this scheme. And this scheme was really helped by the political parties and the people around of different ideas, ideologies, and this scheme was made to use. This is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. No defecation. No, this means a proper sanitation will be provided to all. In simpler words. Now you can continue with your third question, sir, if you feel like.
Proper sanitation?
Yeah, not proper sanitation. Basic sanitation to all. Proper sanitation can be a person asks, now I need a Western toilet. I cannot sit in an Indian toilet. This is not possible. So proper basic sanitation to all.
So now you are saying it's all India is having proper. They have now basic sanitation. That's what it. And
Yes. Yes.
now والنقطة الخامسة التي ذكرها هي الصرف الصحي الأساسي. تم مد الهند كاملة بوسائل الصرف الصحي الأساسي. So now, Rishab, this is a question. This is very, what you are saying, creating miracles, because we are talking about 1,300,000,000 human beings. They have this electricity. They have so a lot of things governments have managed to do. Do they have oil? Do they have oil? Do they have like sources of money? From where they can fund all of these things?
Wonderful.
Are taking loan from international banks, monetary fund, or what?
Sir, very wonderful, very nice question. I like this question. Obviously, if you are funding a scheme, and that too on a scale of millions, sir, millions, you need a hell lot of amount of money. Where are you getting this money from? Are you looting a bank? Or is God with you? What's going on, sir? The economics part comes here. I'm not saying all of the money is generated by the Indian government. Yes, we take loans from different countries or the World Bank or the international organizations or the institutions such as World Bank, Asian Bank, or the IMF, International Monetary Fund. But sir, see, taking money is just not the only thing. Taking the money, dividing it into several spectrums or activities, and how to allot a desired number of amount to a particular spectrum or a activity is in itself a very good thing and a very great thing, because when you are not talking in hundreds or in thousands, you are talking in millions, sir. So yes, since we are a population of 1.3 billion, we pay taxes. Some of us might skew themselves from taxes, but yes, most of the Indian population pay taxes. We have proper structured norms. We have indirect taxes. Say, for example, I like your tie and I want to purchase that tie from the market. I'll talk about the currency, dirhams. I get that tie for 100 dirhams. Out of those 100 dirhams, there's a certain amount of tax which we are going to pay to the government. Say, for example, 5%. Out of those 100 dirhams, I pay 5 dirhams to the government, 95 dirhams go to the shopkeeper or to the retailer or to the manufacturer or to the supplier. But the 5 dirhams, for every purchase, there is a definite number, not a definite number, but a relative number, and that money goes to the government. Yes, sir.
Do you mean that Indian people respect tax and respect the legislation for tax? Because in other countries, it is like, Tom and Jerry, the people run away from government and the government try to hunt the people for them. How much the respect for tax legislation, is it found in the DNA or is something imposed by force?
Sir, I believe you have a wonderful question. I believe nothing can be done by force. You cannot force million people to pay taxes. You cannot force million people to stay at home. It is their own dedication. It is their own nationalistic feeling. It is their own love for nation that makes them do things. But sir, the main thing is, you are right. Not all the Indians pay taxes faithfully. They might, if the Indian government, according to the norms, expect them to pay 30% taxes, there are some loopholes in the system, and definitely we will work on that. But yes, if the government expects, according to the norms, that 30% will be the tax we will be getting from this individual, due to some loopholes or this and that, he may not be able to pay. He will not be paying 30%, but he will pay 15 or 10%. I'm just giving you a rough estimate. But even after that, our country is doing well, and there is not an iota of doubt, sir, that the Indian people love their country and the nationalistic feeling is in their DNA. They can die for their country. So when it comes to country, anything is possible and anything can be done.
So just I will translate quickly because your speech is very interesting, taking a lot of time. So
this is indeed a very interesting topic. Thank you.
إذا تحدثنا عن موضوع أنه الهند كحكومات متتالية حاربت الفقر بعدة جبهات، منها السكن، منها الكهرباء، منها الصرف الصحي، منها تأمين نقل أهل الريف إلى قطاعات أكثر ربحية وغيرها. طيب من أين تأتي الحكومة بهذا الأموال؟ تتهم المصادر متعددة وقروض خارجية متعددة. كيف ستفي الحكومة بهذه القروض؟ هون الاعتماد على أبناء البلد، هل يحبون بلدهم؟ هل الوطنية تجري في عروقهم؟ هل يحترمون نظام الضرائب؟ في كل العالم هناك نظام الضرائب مثل توم وجيري، يعني هناك من يحاول أن يهرب وهناك من يحاول أن يركض، ولكن أيا الموضوع لا يأتي بالإكراه. محبة الوطن عندما تفوق محبة المبالغ تجد أن الإنسان يدفع زيادة وهو يعرف أنها ستذهب إلى حكومة وطنه وستساهم في إيفاء الديون الخارجية، والتي كانت سببا في الخروج من مأزق كثيرة، تأمين أساسيات لعدد أكثر من مليار بني آدم. Okay, can we move to the next question now?
Definitely, sir. Just before that, I'm actually seeing a feed on Facebook, and my friends are creating actually a ruckus. They love me or something. They're excited. Thank you, Kapdi was. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I want to ask you, there is so much diversity in India, many religions, many languages, and larger places. Still, though, you still manage to live in harmony and overcome development challenges. What is the secret of the harmony? Because sometimes you find brothers from the same family, they don't have the harmony. Here we are talking harmony among 1,300,000,000. What is the secret of harmony in Indian societies?
So do you see this flag?
Yes.
This itself shows the harmony. This shows the unity and diversity. Now I'll tell you. Sir, you have you just raised a very interesting question. And if I'm not wrong, you just asked, there's so much diversity in India and we still manage to live in harmony. Sir, I believe India is the benchmark, India is the epitome to present and to tell the whole world that we are unified in our diversity. We have unity in diversity. We have different religions. We have people from different communities, sections, all of us are staying together. If I am not wrong, I'm not actually quoting a definite figure, but if I'm not wrong, there are more than 3,000 communities staying in India. There are around more than 1 billion Hindus staying in India. There are more than 175 million Muslims staying in India. More than 25 million Christians staying in India. We are the birthplace of a religion, Hindu, Buddhism, Sikhism. But despite all of this, we stay as one. For outsiders or for the rest of the world, we may look as many, but for us, we are only one, sir. But that is why we are rightly said, we are the temple of democracy. We are the temple of unity and diversity. We are the temple of oneness. And I'm not saying all of this just for the sake of saying, sir. Actually, we are brothers. We stay together, we live together, we celebrate our festivals together. There are many Muslim friends of mine, sir. Whenever they celebrate Eid, I used to go to their houses when I was in India. We used to celebrate Eid together. There is a Hindu festival as Diwali Dashera. Many Muslim friends of mine used to come to my place and they used to get after me. Come on, we are going to celebrate Dashera. We are going to show some firecrackers. We are going to burst some firecrackers. So see, this thing, the unity and diversity thing is itself is a very strong point of our nation. Because diversity brings different ideas, different ideologies, different peoples together. And when it is just like I have a very good ingredient from Europe. I have a very good ingredient from Sri Lanka. I have a very good ingredient from XYZ. And I and I have brought all these good ingredients to make a perfect dish. That is what is India.
Wonderful. إذن الهند فيها عدد ضخم من الأديان، متعددة الأديان، متعددة الأعراق. نسبة الديانات الديانة الهندوسية عالية جدا. هناك ديانات إبراهيمية، المسيحية، الإسلام، وهناك أيضا البوذية وغيرها. الجميع من الخارج ينظرون إلى الهند وكأنها دولة متعددة الأعراق والأديان، ولكنهم أهل الهند ينظرون على أنهم عائلة واحدة. فمثلا بالأحيان أعياد المسلمين هو يشارك في أعياد المسلمين، في أعياد الهندوس يأتيهم أصدقاء المسلمين ويشاركونه. دائما تعدد الثقافات، تعدد الأديان تحول من نقطة ضعف إلى مصدر قوة، لأن هناك صار تنوع ثقافي يعطي غناء وثراء في الأفكار. حب الوطن وحب العيش المشترك كان يفوق أي مشاعر أخرى قد تؤجج خلافات بينية. Now, Rishab, I have another question, please. Tell us about the mindset of Indians. What is their secrets of success? Why we have top leaders of the boards are from India? For example, in Google, we can see the top management. I think the CEO or the chairman from India, Microsoft CEO from India, different other companies, not only in IT, in different industries, in banking fields, financial fields. What's the secret?
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you I'm glad that you asked me that question, and thank you. I'm wonderful for you to ask me that question, sir. If I'm not wrong, you asked me what is the secret mantra to our success, and why our top leaders are from India on across the globe and on main management level for different companies, global companies. Okay, sir. Sir, I think there is no secret mantra. As rightly said by a very learned individual, there is no shortcut to success. So there is no secret mantra to our success. I believe the perfect ingredients what we need for success is, you can find those ingredients, secret or great ingredients, in an Indian. What we do is we just put all those secret ingredients, we just combine them together, we do hard work, we are very hard-working people. We really, you might say, believe in forward thinking. We look up to the future. So I think all of these factors and principles, when come together, make a man as perfect or near to perfect. So you asked me why are the top leaders from across the globe in many major companies are from India. Sir, I think there are 4 to 5 reasons behind this. First, the required skill set what a company needs, you can find that thing perfectly knitted in an Indian. First point. Second point, sir. IQ. Have you heard of IQ and EQ, sir? Do you know what IQ and EQ is? Yes, we excel in IQ. I might say on a scale of 10, we may land up to 8 on IQ, but on EQ, that is emotional quotient or the emotional intelligence, we exceed that scale. We are on a scale of 50 then. The very emotional intelligence of Indian has makes him a perfect match for different companies for different management positions. Third point, sir. So we receive Western education back at home. And when the Western education is perfectly combined and mixed with our Indian tradition and cultures, a perfect product is made. Fourth point, sir. So we have a very clear picture of what is going to happen next. The clarity is there in an Indian. The perfect way how to manage different people at a given time, at a given condition can be done by an Indian. I'm not saying, I'm not discriminating with other nationalities, but I'm saying the perfect management skill without doing a management degree is already present in an Indian. Fifth point, sir, now. So we are very calculative. I still remember, I'm telling you a short story about my home. That our family or our family members used to give us certain amount of pocket money. Say, for example, 50 dirhams we used to get. And on those 50 dirhams, we had to survive for a month. Taking money secretly out of mother's purse is a different thing. But to talk on principles, we had to survive on those 50 dirhams for a month. So the very calculation and the very risk management and the very management, how to solve a particular or how to create a capital or how to manage a capital is indebted in us since our childhoods. And as we grow, that skill just goes from good to better to perfect. Now the last thing, sir. Apart from our regional languages, there are 22 Indian official languages, but as a whole, the number pass above thousands. But the English education which we get back at home is necessary, and that itself makes us a very perfect product for international markets and international companies to grab. We excel in English because we are taught English since our primary schools. So the very teaching of English along with our native languages makes us the perfect product for a company to hire, and especially for the top management companies. You can see, sir, the Google CEO, the Alphabet CEO, if I may say, the parent company of Google, the Adobe, Microsoft. I was reading some days back that other companies as well, like major companies, are going to make their CEO Indian. So this is evident. This is quite evident, sir. Yeah.
So just I want to clarify one thing. The university curriculums, and when you say IQ, I noticed you take a lot of care on mathematics. So this is something will be reflected on your study. Now, can you tell us about, do you have difficulty on teaching or pushing your people for reading? And do you consume books more than food or food more than books? Are you
Sorry, I
reading?
didn't get your question.
Like, now many governments try to push the people for the habit of reading a lot, reading books. Is this habit found and well rooted in India? Are your people and these Indian people, they like to read books, or they like to some people take care of food more than books?
Are actually right, but even though if we don't love books, sir, but we are scared of the caning we will get from our parents.
Sorry, you are scared from?
Even if we don't love books, sir, but we are scared of the caning or the beating we will get from our parents if we don't read those books.
Mm-hmm. So your parents is pushing you to read.
I may not say pushing; they are doing us for our good, for our own good. So that our future gets more solved. The future goes easier. So you tell me, sir, if a particular thing is good for an individual, obviously the parents and the society will not force but tell him to do that thing. And reading is not a bad thing. My age is 23 years old, sir. I'm 23 years old. And I might say, and I am a firm believer, if you don't read and if you don't grow daily by reading books, you are nothing. Reading is a very important thing, sir. And it's a very important habitual thing which a person should make habit as early as possible. So we are not forced, but yes, we are made to realize the importance of reading and education. And you will be shocked to know, sir, even today, the government owned schools, like the government running schools, or we call the Sarkari school in India, they surpass the number in millions. There are more than millions of government run schools. Other than that, there are private schools, private universities, private colleges as well. Yeah.
I will translate into Arabic. كان السؤال يا احبابنا انه لماذا الهند، يعني شو السر بالهند انه وين ما رحت بتلاقي مدراء شركات عالميه من هنود، وليش يعني لماذا هناك الاداره صارت يعني ما حول محتكره، بس يعني اغلبيتهم هنود. شركه الفابت اللي انشات جوجل او هي مديره جوجل مديرها هندي، ادوب هندي، مايكروسوفت هندي، وشركات اخرى هنديه. فاجابني شو سر النجاح عندكم؟ قال لي لا يوجد هناك طريق للنجاح، هناك مكونات للنجاح، هناك خلطة سحرية للنجاح. شو هي الخلطة السحرية الموجودة عند شعب الهند للنجاح؟ أول شغلة إنه بيذبحوا حالهم بالشغل، العمل الجاد العمل الجاد العمل الجاد. رقم اثنين، طريقة التفكير، ما بيفكروا بالماضي قد ما بيفكروا بالمستقبل. دائما الإيمان بالتفكير المستقبلي وليس باجترار الماضي. دائما ينظرون يا ترى ما هي متطلبات المهارات المطلوبة لقيادة الشركات ولأخذ المناصب الإدارية، فيسعون ليل نهار على تطوير المهارات القيادية التي يحتاج المدراء. رقم 4، يعتنوا بتطوير الذكاء، وميز بين نوعين من الذكاء، ذكاء الاي كيو، وهنا نقصد انه بيعشقوا مادة الرياضيات، مواد العلمية. دائما بتلاقي حتى بالمسلسلات تبعاتهم المسابقات في الرياضيات والارقام، ومين اسرعهم قدرة على حل المعادلات والخوارزميات والارقام، وبالفعل هذه الشركات التي اداروها كلها تعتمد على هذا الشيء. رقم 2، كونه مجتمع ينبض بالحياة وفيه كثافة سكانية، مستوى الاي كيو اللي هو الذكاء الاجتماعي عندهم مرتفع جدا جدا جدا، حتى وصل لنسبة 50%. وهناك ايضا الاستثمار بالثقافة، يعني انا بتذكر كان في هناك كثير ناس اغنياء نبوس ايديهم مشان نستثمر بمشروع ثقافي بسيط. مرة كنا نساوي شركة ترجمة، الناس كلها هربت خافت، علما انه هذا شيء اساسي. يؤمنون بالثقافة، يستثمروا في الثقافة. هناك فكرة واضحة عندهم ما الذي سيحصل بالمستقبل، يعني استشراف المستقبل، دراسة المستقبل، كيف يتم قيادة الناس في شتى الظروف، شيء يمارسون نفسهم عليه. قراراتهم دائما محسوبة ومدروسة منذ الصغر، كل واحد بيعطوه أبوه خرجية فبيحاول ما يصرفها، يحاول بيفكر كيف بده يصمدها يحولها رأس مال. فهنا بيجي عندهم دراسة الإنفاق، المخاطر، تحويل خرجية لرأس مال. عنده 22 لغة بالهند. مع هالشيء بتلاقي بيعتنوا دائما بالجامعات والمناهج تكون مطورة وباللغة الإنجليزية، بيتقنوا اللغة الإنجليزية منذ الصغر. فبالتالي كل الشركات العالمية بتطلب ناس مبدعين باللغة الإنجليزية، فبتلاقي عندهم عباقرة. الأهل بيشجعوا الأبناء مو على أكل الشاورما ولا على روحوا يتفسحوا، على قراءة الكتب. فليل نهار يقرؤون الكتب، بيشجعوا بعضهم على القراءة والمطالعة وأخذ المزيد. قلت له هل أنتم شعب قارئ؟ قال لي إذا ما قرأت بخاف من أهلي إنه يعنفوني إذا ما قرأت. فالموضوع صار منذ الصغر في احترام للكتب، مو مثل عنا الكتب صار ورق جرايد بيلفوا فيها جرسة البقدونس. Okay, Rishab. Now, another question, please. Tell us about Indian universities and foreign international students. Now, first of all, are your curriculums outdated or are they advanced? The universities.
Yeah, I'll first answer your first question and then I will come to your second question, sir. Sir, Indian universities are a festival in their own sense.
Sorry, come again.
Are a festival. Mm-hmm. And why am I saying that they are a festival? Because sir, in an Indian university, you may find a student from the south of India, from the east of India, from the west of India, from the north of India, from all parts of India. You will find a student from Hindu background, Muslim background, Christian background, scheduled caste background, scheduled tribe background. So when all of these perspectives and all of these people come together, the product we get and the environment we get is very multidimensional. So, sir, according to me, if a person needs to learn in the basics of life, if a person needs to get smart, if a person needs to get that skill, that the smart, we call that the street smartness skill, he or she should definitely go to an Indian university. For example, if I'll talk about my university, sir, my university is BMN Munjal University. It was founded by one of a hero group founders. I'm just sharing a very small example with you. So before joining the university, I will say that I was just a medium student trying to concentrate on studies but couldn't concentrate on studies, trying to do something else in life but couldn't do that also. But during these 4 years of my engineering life, that is mechanical engineering from BML Munjal University, Gurgaon, they can endorse me now. I learned a lot of things. The friends I got there is the best thing I could ever say and I could ever have received for anyone. The friends, the people, the professors I got there, they all just came together and just they help you, let you grow. They help you to grow. Every day in the university, it's a learning day. Even if you are not doing anything, even if you are not going to any classes, you will learn something. When I used to go to canteen, sir, I used to go to in the evening times. Very secretly, I used to come out of the canteen along with 4 or 5 packet of chips. So that packet of chips or any
chips
food item, yeah. Very secretly, I had to go out. No one sees me, because if people see me, they will grab that thing definitely, and I will be left with zero. So that itself is a skill. How you manage your capital, how you manage your things, how you secretly get along with things without disappointing anyone.
So may I ask, when you are talking about the friends, sorry to say, I want to speak openly now. Some universities, we are afraid to send our children. They might get bad habits like smoking or taking even hashish. So now what I understand from, are the company, they're pulling them, friends, pulling each other down, push or up? What are, for example, let me tell you about my experience. I come to know you through Toastmaster, and I noticed in the Indian community in Dubai, they are very eager to meet, to push each other up with continuous sharpening of skills and knowledge. Whereas other communities, they're going for shisha only. So I need you to elaborate about this one, please.
Okay, sir. So we can see this thing in 2 or 3 aspects. I'm not saying that there is no intoxication happening in the universities. Yes, there are intoxication happening in the universities, but why to focus only on universities, sir? Intoxication is also happening in the streets, it's also happening in the homes. But this doesn't mean that if a person or if a student is doing an intoxication, he is ruining his life. No, I don't believe that. I don't buy that argument, sir. Sorry to say that. But, sir, what friends are doing in a university is they are challenging you on daily basis. They are pulling your leg on daily basis. They may mark you absent in a class intentionally, so that your attendance falls down below 75% and you get a grade drop or your marks will suffer. But that is all on a very lighter note. But when you see as a serious thing, I believe, sir, if a person or if a student needs to learn about life, if a student needs to do anything about life, he or she should definitely go to an Indian university. And you will be shocked to know, sir, in the year 2015, 2016, we received a number 14,000 international students more than the previous year. There was an X amount of foreign students in the India in the year 2014-15, but in the year 2015-16, it got X plus 13,000 students. So there is a reason behind international students flocking into Indian universities. There's a reason why people, why parents, why families send their children to Indian universities, because they grow there. The street smartness and the very thinking and the ability to understand and analyze things, you will get that in an Indian university and nowhere else. Forget Harvard, forget Oxford, sir. Indian universities are the most underrated universities in the world, I believe, sir. Harvard and Oxford may, yeah.
First, quantity. Do you have enough universities in India?
I think so. We have more than enough. Yeah.
You told me one day every 200 miles you will find university.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
So you have a lot of universities.
We have a lot of universities, both state funded, both private funded, both state private. Third point, both state and private funded.
Do you have a ranking system for universities?
So I'll tell you what happens. So we have 4 types of universities: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4. In Tier universities, the very famous and the most advanced institutes and the world's best institutes come, and mark my words, sir, the world's best institutes come. People getting out of those institutes are straight away hired in millions without an iota of doubt. These universities are in an undergraduate or graduate level, postgraduate level, it is IIT. In the management level, it is IIM. In the Tier 2, but these 2 universities are state funded. Coming on to a private university, we have that university here as well in Dubai, that is BITS Dubai. We have that in India, and it was started in India only. As BITS India, we have 3 or 4 campuses there: BITS Goa, BITS Pilani, I think 2 campuses. And then subsequently the number and the universities come. Say, for example, if I open a university yesterday, that will come under Tier 4 university because it is a young university. It has to grow. It needs to show the potential. So the reason is that basically we have 4 types of universities: Tier 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. Thank you رشاد. So I'll put in Arabic. إذا الجامعات في الهند هي بحد ذاتها تعتبر فيستيفال. شو يعني فيستيفال؟ يعني يأتوا الطلاب من شمال الهند وجنوب الهند وشرقها وغربها، من أديان مختلفة، من طوائف مختلفة، من بقاع بيئات مختلفة. عندك بالهند في جبال الهيمالايا، وعندك وديان، وعندك بحار، وعندك شواطئ، كلهم بيجتمعوا تحت سقف واحد. وقت بيجتمعوا الطلاب بمهارات مختلفة وخلفيات مختلفة، كل واحد بيقوي الثاني، فبصير عندك هذا البحر من الجدارات بتولد عن كل إنسان بيناتهم، بترفع له مستوى إدارة البشر والتعامل مع البشر والاحتكاك مع البشر والتكيف مع البيئات المختلفة. دخل الجامعة وهو إنسان عادي جدا، ما يلاقي حاله إنه الناس اللي حواليه، المجتمع الجامعي اللي حواليه رفعوا نحو الأعلى نحو الأعلى نحو الأعلى، صار بينشطوا دفعوا نحو النمو. طيب السؤال، ما هي أنواع الجامعات؟ كل 200 ميل أو 100 ميل بتلاقي هنيك جامعة. يعني الشعب يهتم بالدراسة بشكل كبير جدا. تم تصنيف الجامعات ل4 مستويات، فكل ما علي المستوى كل ما كانت الجامعة أعرق وأكبر. جامعات بعراقتها وبنشاطها وبخريجيها وبمدراء الذين يقودون شركات تضاهي هارفارد وتضاهي جامعات أكسفورد والجامعات البريطانية. عدد الطلبة الدوليين الذين يأتون من أصقاع الأرض للدراسة بالهند بفضل علومها وإمكانيات جامعاتها وما تعطي الطلبة من نمو في الشخصية وفي العلم وفي النجاح متزايد بشكل كبير جدا. الطالب اللي هنيك إذا لا يأخذ فقط العلم، يأخذ المهارة. الشباب الهندي أكثر جدية في نظرتهم للحياة من الشعوب الغربية. يعني لا يبحثون عن اللهو وعن المتع مثل الشعب الغربي بقدر ما يبحثون عن العلم والمعرفة والدراسة، لأن ظروف الحياة القاسية فرضت عليهم نمط تفكير جاد جدا في الحياة. فعندما أرسل ابني لجامعة هندية فسيتعلم جدية الحياة من أقرانه. وأنا على الصعيد الشخصي أنا كنت أعمل في إدارة موارد بشرية فترات طويلة، وجدت من شعب السودان كثير من الأشخاص من تخرجوا من جامعات هندية، وعندما أتوا وجدنا جداراتهم مهاراتهم كفاءاتهم أعلى بكثير في امتحانات القبول والتوظيف من أقرانهم. في شيء هناك أخذوه اكتسبوه من أهل البلاد هناك من جدية الحياة وطلاقة اللغة ودقة المعلومات وتوظيف المعلومات على أرض الواقع. So just Rishab, I am sharing, I used to work a lot in HR and I used to find many applicants from Sudan. They used to study in India and graduates from India. And seriously, what you are saying, I found it myself when we gave them aptitude tests, when we give them qualifying tests, we used to find they are superior than their fellow countrymen who studied in other universities. Now we took like almost 90 minutes. So I'll ask the question, in the last 20 years, how India combated poverty? I know you have answered this question, but do you have anything to add?
Yes, sir. To end the wonderful forum we just discussed, we just had, sir, I will just not to make it lengthy. I'll just keep it brief, very brief. I will discuss the last 20 years of India and the next 20 years to come.
Okay.
Sir, I'll just try to keep my answers in points so that we don't deviate and we just don't go on, because we are loving this discussion and we are just going on and on. And sir, in the last 20 years, India eradicated around 400 million people out of poverty. Sorry, I used the wrong term. India elevated poverty and 400 million people were moved out of poverty. Yes, sir.
400 million removed from poverty?
Million. Yes, sir.
Just come again. 400, not 40. 400 million.
Sir, 400 million people
removed from poverty in the last 20 years.
In the last 10 years, the poverty rate is halved from around 630 or 700 million people. The poverty rate is now reduced to 300 million people. So in the last 20 years, India eradicated 400 million people out of poverty, sir.
Wow. Wow.
And this figure is in itself a very remarkable thing. Now, sir, in the last 20 years, what we did? In the last 20 years, we worked and we developed and we dedicated our lives for our nation. We worked on many social welfare schemes. We worked to build our country, both militarily, both economically, both politically. Now we are a tougher state, we are a tougher nation. As compared to our neighbors, we have a more number of workforce. We have a competent workforce in the market. We have a competent number of managers in the market. We have a competent number of leaders in the market. We have produced women leaders in the market. In our Lok Sabha, that is the temple of democracy, there are around, I don't remember the exact number, but drastically the number of women MPs, member of parliament, or the member of parliament are the people who represent the Indians, or they represent their constituencies, are drastically improved. We moved out of draconian laws. We moved out of British draconian laws to Indian actual laws which should be followed. We developed our railways, we developed our airways, we developed our waterways, we developed our roads. Now, almost most of the villages in India are accessible through proper roads, through proper infrastructure. We made canals for proper irrigation, for proper water supply to our fellow farmers, to our fellow citizens, to our dedicated farmers. We worked in the government sector. We provided a good capital, a good amount of workforce or a capital or a infrastructure to our government employees. Startup industry is booming in India. Individuals are getting chances. Governments are doing their best so that the opportunity is not lost. Now the years to come. In the years to come, sir, I firmly believe that Indian economy will be not less than $15 trillion. Second largest economy after USA. Sorry, yeah.
Let me translate to Arabic because you are giving a lot of facts and figures, and I hope we can paste them also with this video on Facebook so we can come back to them. آخر 20 سنة تم إخراج عدد 400 مليون شخص من الفقر. تصوروا على العدد 400 مليون شخص تم انتشاله من الفقر خلال 20 سنة الماضية. تم بناء الدولة، تم بناء رأس المال البشري من ناحية إنه في عندك قاضي، عندك عمالة قوية ذكية قادرة. يعني الشركات العملاقة صارت تعشق تفتح بالهند، انك كنت تحط اعلان وظيفي ما تحتار مين بدك تعين، كله كفاءات. عدد حتى من الديمقراطيه صارت بيسموها معبد الديمقراطيه، تمبل اوف ديموكراسي، انه وقت بتلاقي تعدد الاراء بيعطي بعد عميق في اتخاذ القرارات. النساء في البرلمانات صارت بعدد كبير اللي بتمثل الشعب. بنية تشريعية، تحولوا من التشريع البريطاني في الماضي وتستقالوا، يمكن استقالوا ب 1940 تقريبا، صار كله تشريع هندي. البنية التحتية التي تم بناءها من قطارات، من شوارع، من غيرها، قنوات السقاية لكل الأماكن الأراضية، إنه الماء يصل لكل الأراضي الزراعية، القطاع الحكومي، القوى العاملة اللي فيه، الفرص التي أتيحت للشباب الجديد، هذه كله خلال آخر 20 سنة كلها كانت إنجازات متتالية. Just I want to ask you, Rishab, I think your independent day, you get your independence in 1942, or what year you get in India independent from British?
1949.
1949.
We have a Republic Day on 26 January. We have our Independence Day on 15th August. Yeah, 1949.
49, okay.
Yeah.
استقلال 1949. So now we talk about the last 20 years, now the coming 20 years.
Important thing. Because there's no point looking at the past, there's point looking in the future. So, sir, in the next 20 years, what I dream of India and what I think India will be. In next 20 years, sir, India's economy will be greater than, or there will be more than $15 trillion. That is second largest after USA. First point.
Sorry, how much? Come again?
15 trillion dollars, sir. More than $15 trillion.
Okay.
Second point, sir. Even, sir, our healthcare system is the biggest healthcare scheme ever run on this continent, or on this country, on this earth. India's healthcare system is the biggest healthcare system, surpassing USA, Canada, Australia, everything. So, what I forecast India is after 20 years, it will be, even though we are still having the world's largest healthcare system, but still there are some discrepancies on that. We will overcome those discrepancies, and I believe that India will be able to cover all of its fellow citizens in the coming years to come on in terms of healthcare. I believe, sir, the third point, we will be the entrepreneurship capital of the world. We are still the third largest cradle of startups in the world, but I believe we will be the first in number because of the human talent we have. Fourth point, sir.
Oh, wait, please. Can you repeat this point and explain it more carefully? What you said, third is what?
Sir, we are the third largest startup industry in the world as of now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I aspire India to be, what I see India will be in next 20 years to come, India will be the entrepreneurship capital of the world. That is, it will lead the startup industry in the world, not only in corporate sector, not only in private sector, but also in social sectors, and will take care that the world will follow global warming norms, and people and the countries do not. Yeah, sorry.
Repeat this word, that it goes slowly, because you are what saying is gold, is marvelous.
Actually, I got into a feeling. Sorry, I'll take care of that. Okay, sir. So what I'm saying is, sir, India will lead the startup industry in the world in years to come. Mm-hmm. India will be the entrepreneurship capital of the world, not only in the corporate sector, not only in the different sectors, but the main thing is also in the social sector as well. Social, when I say social, I mean because what we are doing to the world right now is not good. Global warming, glaciers are melting. We are well aware of what is happening around. So we will also lead the social capital. We will also lead the social entrepreneurship in the world. Fourth point, sir. So we are a nation which truly believes in sustainable development, not as of 21st century, but since centuries. We will be the sustainable development capital of the world. We will lead in hydroelectricity power generation. We are still doing very well in that. I just want to share a figure with you, if I may have it.
Before you share it, let me just translate what you mentioned. يقول أنه ماذا حول 20 سنة القادمة لا فائدة من العيش بالماضي، يجب أن ننظر إلى المستقبل. يتوقع خلال 20 سنة القادمة أن يكون الناتج المحلي للهند الإجمالي 15. يتوقع أن يكون الناتج المحلي الإجمالي للهند 15 تريليون دولار، أي سيكون ترتيبها الثاني بعد أمريكا. عندهم أكبر نظام صحي في العالم. هذا النظام الصحي سيتم تطويره وتحسينه بشكل أكبر. نظام الصحي أكبر من أمريكا ومن كندا. هي الثالثة على مستوى العالم في المشاريع الناشئة، الستارت اب. يعني احنا نقول عمدة الاقتصاد الآن المشاريع الناشئة، المشاريع الصغيرة. كل الدول هي تعتبر تصنيفها الثالث بالعالم. وسيكون المشاريع الناشئة ليس فقط في مجال الشركات، بل سيكون في النظم الاجتماعية التي ستساهم في تطور العالم ومحاربة الاحتباس الحراري وتأمين بيئة حياة أفضل للبشرية. وأيضا هم يؤمنون في التنمية المستمرة. والآن سيتحدث عن توليد الكهرباء بالطاقة الهيدروليكية. Yes, Rishab.
Yes, sir. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a figure as of 2013, sir. The hydroelectricity power generation out of the 17.3% renewable source of energy, as of 2013, we have drastically improved since then. It is 11.9 or 12% of the hydroelectricity generation out of 17.3% we produced. Rest 7% or 5%, it was wind energy, it was biomass, it was solar energy. But yes, very important thing, sir.
No, wait. Don't move it. Can you just give it back? Just let me comment on Arabic, please, about it. Can you put the same? إذا تظهر لنا في هذه الصورة أنه الطاقة، تنمية الطاقة والكهرباء في الهند عام 2013 11 أو 12% تعتبر من الطاقة الهيدروليكية هي عم تولد الكهرباء. الرياح بالهند تولد 3.15%. من خلال النفايات استخدامها وحرقها 2%، والطاقة الشمسية 0.3%. كلها هي تستخدم في توليد النقي للكهرباء. Yes, Rishab.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is the graph. Okay. So, sir, what I'm saying is, we will be the hydroelectricity power generation capital of the world. And few days ago, around I think 1 week back, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he introduced or he dedicated the world's or the Asia's largest solar plant in India. We just made the Asia's, I think, or the world, I don't remember exactly, the Asia's or the world's largest solar plant. So, sir, you see, our development, our focus is towards sustainable development as well, along with the development and inclusive growth also. Now, sir, coming on to my 6th point after hydroelectricity power generation. Sir, we had universities in India when in the world where there were no universities. The first ever university, the Nalanda University, was founded in India. It was the world's first university, sir. So I believe, sir, after 20 years, we will be the knowledge capital of the world. Despite the brain drain, the brain and the knowledge will flow into India, will flock to India, will utilize our infrastructure, and we will lead the world, and we will be an epitome of success, sustainable development, and growth to all other countries.
Thank you very much. إذن في الهند هنا يسعون لإنجاد أكبر أو يمكن أنشأوا أكبر مكان أو معمل لتوليد الطاقة الشمسية في العالم. في الهند تم إنشاء أول جامعة. بعد 20 سنة ستكون الهند هي عاصمة المعرفة للعالم أجمع. رغم هجرة العقول من الهند، ستستمر الهند بالنمو والتطور وحيازة الصدارة في العالم. Rishab, thank you so much. It is like 1 hour 42 minutes. and still you make us very much hungry to learn more about India, to love India more. Everybody is eager to go to India now, to study there, to meet its people, to learn from your wisdom, from your history, from your heritage. It is something, believe me, today's session, we started with very beautiful music also from India, beautiful voices. And we have not spoken about Bollywood, about the great industry.
Wow. Maybe the next talk, we can focus on Bollywood. Yes,
so
sir.
I'm really grateful for your time, for all your preparation, for all this beautiful information you signed with us. And also I'm really grateful for all our visitors from India who came to our Facebook page. It is such a great honor to come and see us. I'm really grateful for you, grateful for everything. And I hope that we will keep you'll join us in the future with future episodes. Your argument is very smart. The way you are putting things into perspective, opening our eyes to a very important thing in life. Development is not like individual effort. It is collaborative effort between the government and the people who love their country and work for the country. Looking into the past is not, there is no point in it. We have to keep looking into the future. If you have diversification of different ethnicity, it will push us forward because it will give us depth and more strength, so we can present to the world very rich culture and very creative brains, investing in IQ and EQ, and investing with our encouraging our the new generation and our children for continuous education and love for their country. So many things we learned today from Rishab. Thank you very much, Rishab. Thank you for everything. And also I want to again thank Sharsti and Snehal for their beautiful voice and for their contribution. And please just tell me, Rishab.
I'm really grateful, Mr. Sobi, that you have provided me with this opportunity. I'm delighted as well as proud to represent my country on this forum, and I believe that we will do such talks in the future as well. Because seriously, I was planning and I was thinking that the talk might get over in around 70 minutes, but I think it has gone over to 1 hour 50 minutes, around 2 hours or something. So that is a very remarkable, that is a very good thing, sir. And the sincere thanks and appreciation to you, sir, to Srishti, to Snehal, and to fellow viewers who are watching this, to fellow Indians, to fellow Syrian community, Arab community, and to other followers from across the globe who are watching us. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for tolerating us for 1 hour 40 minutes. It is a very good thing. It is a very great thing indeed. And thank you, my fellow friends who were consistently troubling me on WhatsApp groups and on the Facebook chats. Thank you, Kaprivas. Thank you so much for your consistent efforts and support. So that is what I was saying. To get into an Indian university is a very festival on its own, because you get friends like the people I have. So, and thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, my family, my mom, my brother, everyone who are watching today, my father. And thank you so much, Mr. Sobi. I will catch you, I think, for the next meeting. We will definitely plan something and we will just communicate with our audience. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
All the thanks to you, Rishab. And by the way, I will add a link to your blog at Instagram with a comment. So anybody who has any question, please feel free to ask Rishab, especially if you want to send your children to study in India. I'm sure he will give you a very good answer for this. They will clarify the way for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. هذا صبحي أخ بك حييكم من دبي. السلام عليكم. أراكم إن شاء الله في الجمعة القادمة. إلى اللقاء.